we should hold up the stack, pause for a moment for the thumbnail. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. There we go. We are back with Taylor, the star of my booktube channel, apparently. And we're going to talk more romance. This time, we're going to talk about Ali Hazelwood, that we already tried lifting up all these books, and it's really hard. Yeah, we basically right after we discussed Lila Sage's Rebel Blue Range series, we decided we were going to start Ali Hazelwood. Shout out to Simon for recommending us starting with Love on the Brain. So shout out Simon. And yeah, in case anyone hasn't watched the Rebel Blue Range video, Taylor, do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, yeah, hi. Thanks for having me back. Yeah, this time we're here to chat about Ali Hazelwood. I can't believe we read all of these within 2 months. It's crazy. Like when we hold up the stack, is like that is a lot of pages.
That is a lot of pages. And I literally have my spreadsheet open. I finished Love on the Brain on the 18th of July and finished the last Ali Hazelwood book that we read / listened to together on August 22nd. Like just over a month. Like, what? 11 books, by the way, people. 11 books.
That's impressive.
/ short stories.
I'd like to know if anyone else has read her backlog that quickly.
I mean, I don't want to say challenge accepted, but, you know.
And now the issue is that we need another author to read her entire works.
It's true. Simon, apparently you did really well. Give us a recommendation. If you're watching this, which
people leave a comment, let us know who should we read in under a month.
Yes. Yeah. Consume, to say the least, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, we started with, like I said, Love on the Brain. So I think we're going to go in order of when we read them.
Yeah.
So this is what was the phrasing that Simon used?
I think he targeted as academic rivals to lovers, because that was the trope that I mentioned in the last video.
Yes, exactly. So that's why he recommended it. I think this is her second written / published book, ? Either way, it's in the same like quasi series as Love Hypothesis. And I was so taken by this. It was great. I mean, that's I don't know what else I could say. It was great. It was cute, but not too cute at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Which
I found myself pleasantly surprised, because I know I had some Ali Hazelwood reservations before we started, just based on the Love Hypothesis and how big it was on TikTok and Instagram, and we'll get to the Love Hypothesis.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure if this was going to be for me. So you know how sometimes something gets really big and there's a lot of hype, and then it becomes more scary. But I was really surprised. I was into it straight away. We started reading it, and I think you dusted me on like all of these, but I think you blew through this one, and I was having a great time with it. I think the academics.
You were saying pretty on track. For this, but for the most part. But I guess kind of to take a step back, because I think Anitha is going to specifically get mad if we don't talk non-spoilers in general, because she hasn't read any Ali Hazelwood yet. Overall thoughts about all of the books that we read and about Ali Hazelwood, and how you would recommend her, and just overall, general.
Yeah, I would say overall positive. We definitely had ones that we liked more than others, and I think we had different thoughts on most of them, or like some in agreement. I would say that she is maybe a little bit more on the smuttier side than, like, say, Emily Henry. So to be warned for people who are reading them. And there's like a different variety of tropes in her books. So I think we can talk about like the different tropes and the different things that stood out to us in each book, so that people can know which one might be a good one for them to start with if they're looking to start with Ali Hazelwood. I would probably recommend that you don't start with the Love Hypothesis.
I second
Just
that.
because it's her first doesn't mean that you should start there.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, we can get into specifics on that one, but yeah, I think there's definitely, I agree, there's obviously a lot of variety here. I do feel like there is a quasi line for me between love hypothesis, love on the brain, and love theoretically, and not in love, problematic summer romance, and deep end. Like, I feel like those latter three are more on the smuttier side, more on the kinkier side, as it were. Whereas these feel like more of the expected contemporary romance rom-com books.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I would say also one thing that is pretty common thread throughout all of them, except maybe the audio novella, is women in STEM. So, you know, if you for some reason really don't like reading about that, then this may not be the author for you. But she has a background in STEM. I think she has a neuroscience degree, if I'm remembering correctly. So I like that she writes about what she knows, and it's not like women's careers is maybe not something that is always explored in romance novels. So I like that aspect of it.
Right. And also, in every single one, there is some sort of reference to Star Wars, however overtly or subtly. So, yeah, if you don't like Star Wars, you're going to get tired of the Star Wars references throughout the books. But yeah, no, I really like how the more books that we've read by her, at least as she's written them, you can tell that she's grown as a writer. Where a lot of other authors, if they get success, they kind of like stay stagnant, so to speak. And I shouldn't say a lot of authors, but if you achieve success in a certain area, field, whatever, there can be a chance of becoming stagnant and not growing. And I love how you can see that she's improved her craft with each book that she's written, at least for me. So, which makes me very excited about her next books. So.
Yeah, I think it can be one of those things where it's like you do something well and you think, okay, well, I'll just repeat that because that worked last time. But I like that she's definitely gotten better as a writer, and she's explored different areas. And even though she kind of keeps some of her main themes with like women in STEM, she explores different areas of that, and then different types of romances. And like you said, some of them more like rom-com-y ones, and then some more smuttier ones. So we've got lots of different aspects to read from with her.
Yeah. So which is your favorite that we read and or listened to?
I think my favorite is either Love Theoretically or Problematic Summer Romance. I'm still not sure which one out of those two is my number one.
My decided definite number one is Not in Love. Like, I love Problematic Summer Romance. Again, them being pretty much her latest two or her later two. Problematic Summer Romance was her latest one that came out, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. But either way, you can definitely see the growth there, but I just love Rue as a character, which we can get more into in a minute. But yeah, I didn't expect to, one, fall in love with Ali Hazelwood's writing and have a, quote unquote, kinky book as one of my top books of the year. Because it's going to be on my top books of the year. I don't care what I have to knock off. Not in Love's going to be on that list. So.
Yeah. And I think that was what it was for me with Love Theoretically, which, is funny because it wasn't one of your favorites. But the female main character was, I identified with her a lot. She has some serious people-pleasing issues. And I am a chronic people pleaser, and I empathize with her, and I felt her struggles. So I think that was what made it work for me, is that connection to it.
Actually, that's a great point. I think one of her other strengths, and well, I guess an added strength that she has is all of her characters, or all of her female characters specifically, there is a variety to them, but they don't feel stereotypical or shallow in any way. I believe that, that Rue is this very kind of not closed off, but it's difficult for her to have connections with people, or make connections with people. And I believe that B is who B is, and I just they're all believable characters.
Yeah.
It's not melodramatic or crazy, except for one particular character / book, but we'll get into that one. Oh, that's the other thing. She does like adult, and she has a young adult romance, and then she also does short stories and novellas and novels. So she does the full range of storytelling. So,
and it's quite impressive, like how the speed at which she's putting these books out, because The Love Hypothesis is her first book, and I want to say that's 2023. Maybe that's too early. 2021. Okay. 2021, and she's put out all of these books in that time, and she's improved, and she's got like YA, she's got adult, she's done a lot.
Well, I mean, this year alone, she had Deep End that came out, which I didn't realize came out this year. Problematic Summer Romance, and then she has Mate coming out later this year. Like 3 books in a year. Brandon Sanderson, hold your, like, just go to the back of the line. So,
yeah.
But yeah. And it's
plenty more Ali Hazelwood book reviews to come.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. Cool. All right. Any other spoiler-free general thoughts before we get into the...
I think the only other thing that I noticed throughout all of her books, a very common thread, was that she really likes big men.
That is true.
All of the guys were definitely described as like very tall, very strong, very broad,
and built like a brick house.
And that was like the one thing that I did start to like roll my eyes a little bit at. I'm like, okay, Ali, like some of these men can be a little bit short. It's fine. They don't need to be super tall, but
but just the female leads are at least have some dynamic height. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Anything else?
I don't know. I didn't really kind of. I mean, I noticed it, but I didn't really. Just kind of like went over my head, the whole height thing. But what were you saying? Sorry.
No, that was it. That was the only thought that I had, was that they all had in common. I was starting to notice a trend.
Yeah. She also, yeah. I was just trying to think of like, were there any trends that I noticed? And I don't think there was. There was probably something that I messaged you about, like, what the crap? But I can't remember it now, because obviously it didn't bother me enough that I remembered it. So, anyways, let us get into the first book officially.
And are we doing? Is this spoilers?
Yes.
From here out?
We're doing spoilers, Anitha. We're doing spoilers. So, Love on the Brain, the first one we read.
Yes. Now I'm gonna have to look at the back and remember everyone's names, because we read these so close together. Okay, so in this book we have B and Levi. And as we mentioned, it's like an academic to rivals kind of situation. They both have to work on this project together, and they have some previous rivalry. She thinks that Levi does not like her, and she is actually quite wrong. And they have to, they have to work together. And I liked that aspect of it, because I was actually like quite invested in the work project as well as the romance. Like they're both very smart characters. They bring different strengths to the project that they're working on, and I was like very invested into what they were doing. So I liked that they like appreciated each other for their like work and their academic skills as well. And then we have some issues going on with the project, and some drama, and they of course realize that they are in love throughout this.
Dun, dun, dun. The thing that surprised me when I started reading this, very pleasantly surprised, and I think it basically set me up for complete and utter success, is the You've Got Mail-esque aspect of their Bee and Levi communicating with each other via Twitter with their kind of secret identity Twitter accounts of her. Was it Marie Curie something? What was her screen name? Do you remember?
What would Marie Curie do?
There we go. Yes. So I just love that aspect. I'm a sucker for letters and just the whole like secretly communicating with each other. And I knew from the get-go. I'm like, this guy's gonna be Levi. Haven't even met Levi on the page yet, but I'm like, this guy's gonna be the romantic lead. And dadgummit, was I correct? But I didn't care. It was still so compelling because I was just like, oh god, so excited, so excited. When are they gonna find out? This is gonna be great.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely get to a point when you've read romance books before when you like get introduced to a trope like that and you're like, okay, like clearly this is Levi. But it doesn't matter. Like it's still great. And I liked that they were kind of talking about each other to each other without realizing they were talking to each other. It just made it so entertaining.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, and it was yeah. And I'm just like, if it's I guess that is one thing that you could nitpick is like, well, if they talk about how the field is pretty small and everyone knows everyone, I'm like, there just seems to be too many common threads going on with these two. Why didn't they put the two together that they are each other? So that's something I guess you could nitpick, but I don't care. I was entertained. So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's like I guess they have this idea in their head that like Bee, for example, she's like, Levi doesn't like me. And Levi's this particular person. He's like, he
there's
doesn't
no
like
way this
me.
person
And
can
yeah,
be this person. So
exactly. This is like a different person. So yeah, I think they just get stuck in those ideas. But when they did find out, it was really good.
I going back to the whole project thing, I was just as compelled by the project as I was by, actually I think I was compelled more by the project than even their romance, which is saying a lot. Like I was excited for them to get together, but I'm like, what's going to happen with this project? And the switch from to having like this kind of big bad, essentially the equivalency of a big bad at the end, was a little unexpected, but also it just worked really well for the plot. And yeah, I don't know how common is that to have like a big bad type situation.
Yeah, because I feel like it's usually the relationship that has the, I don't know, the third act breakup, or the big issue is with the relationship. But it was a little bit different to have it with the work project that they were both working on. So I liked that. It was like something different. It's not what you always get in a romance book.
Yeah. Oh yeah, miscommunication trip. That's always the third act breakup thing.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the externalization of that, like, I guess, act, and was great. I do like that.
Yeah, and I thought they were like a really cute couple. I did notice that Ali does that in like a few books as well, where she does seem to have like a thing where the guy falls first, and I like that. And also like sometimes the girl is like thinks that he does not like her. So it's always like cute when you're getting the kind of unraveling of that, and she starts putting the pieces together and realizing that, oh, maybe that he does these things because he likes me, or maybe I'm not getting the full picture in this.
Yeah, that is another thing that I do like about Ali Hazelwood's male leads is, other than them being 6'12", I'm just kidding, by the way. I don't really care about that. But they are the emotionally available ones, but also at the same time, they are like, they're not pushy. They're just there to provide support. They're not like, I don't know, you have to love me type situation. They let the female leads make their own decisions, and they are not pressuring in any way, just because of their own, you know, opinions and thoughts and feelings and stuff like that. And I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
We will be here literally all night if we spend this much time on each book.
Yes.
You want to talk about the next one?
Well, just to wrap up this one,
Okay.
should we give our ratings?
Yes.
So I think I gave this one 5 stars.
I think I gave this one 4.5. Actually, you know what? I have my spreadsheet. I could just look it up. What did I give this? I gave it 4.5 stars. So
yeah, it was a good start.
Yeah, great start. Came out of the gate just running. Awesome. Next one.
I think you should tell us about this one.
This is my favorite one. Like I said, Not in Love. I don't know when she wrote this one. 2024, I think. Yeah, 2024. So this is Rue and Eli, and this is another kind of rivals, enemies to lovers type romance. But it is Rue, who is a engineer at a startup, and Eli is part of a, what do they call it? Oh God. It's the business partners or whatever. They whatever. I don't know what it's called, but they're trying to do
like a funding company type of situation.
Yeah. There's a word for it, and I cannot remember the name of it, the name for it. But anyways, he's part of this group that is trying to basically do a corporate takeover of this startup. And it's just, it is so hot. I guess I don't know what to say about this other than it's hot. Like, I was sending you messages and gifs of like, oh my God, I need to fan myself and calm down. Like, I didn't realize that I could love a book like this where the emphasis is on the physicality. And the way that Ali Hazelwood writes the characters of Rue and Eli, it makes the physical aspect of their relationship and the focus of that physicality, it just makes so much sense. It makes sense for the plot. It makes sense for their characters. And yeah, before I start getting hot and bothered just talking about it, this also involves STEM, by the way. I know it doesn't sound like it, but the startup that Rue is involved with is working with food in food sciences, and she specifically has a kind of mini project that she does within the startup on her own with food preservation. And the character aspect, or the aspect of her character for her motivations to have food oh my God, what did I just say? Food preservation is, that just really connected with me. On top of her being kind of not really being able to emotionally connect with people on an immediate level, it takes her time to connect with people, and she doesn't really get much joy out of sex, except because she knows her body, but at the same time she likes sex at the same time. I don't know. It's so weird, but it's I'm not explaining it well. Maybe you can explain it better. I don't know. What are your thoughts on this book?
Yeah, I mean, I liked this one too. Not as much as you. It wasn't my favorite of them all, but I still had a good time with it. And I was surprised, like, how steamy it was, like, out of the gate. I think pretty much at the start of the book, where like they're
I mean, they're
planning to hook up for the first time, and like
yeah,
so it was very smutty.
so good. And the whole one night stand, failed one night stand. Oh God, so
Mhm.
good, so good. I love that setup.
Yeah, and it was good, like smut. I think that she wrote it well. I like Rue as well. Like I think that it's nice and refreshing to have a different type of female main character where Rue is a little bit more awkward and maybe not the best like in social interactions, because I think in a lot of romance books you have the female who's like really nice and like she gets along with everybody and she's just like so cute and friendly. And it's just like it's not always realistic that everyone's going to be like that. And I liked that Rue kind of knew how to talk about what she wanted in sex and what she didn't want, and that she like felt comfortable with discussing that. I thought that was also nice and refreshing.
Yeah.
And you know, the what's his name again? Eli.
Eli.
Yeah,
Kilgore, by the way. Kilgore is the last name. Just nail on the head. Or
Eli was pretty good too. I think Rue probably was the like highlight of this book. And the work situation drama was also quite interesting because there was like a bit of a mystery like element, not like a mystery in terms of like who did it, but like trying to work out the background of what went on between Eli and his co-directors and Rue's boss like previously. So that was another interesting aspect of it. And yeah, same. I thought like Rue's work was pretty fascinating as well.
Yeah. And it's at least in this one more so than in Love on the Brain. Actually, a little bit on Love on the Brain. You don't really she doesn't really set the opposing forces up as this is obviously the good group, this is the bad group.
Mm-hmm.
She really gives some dynamic qualities to both of them so that you don't really quite know until it's revealed that hey, this is what's going on and this is the result. The end result of Not in Love, of Rue's boss kind of getting I guess not getting her what for, but I don't know, them getting the partnerships getting their vengeance, so to speak. And her still being able to practice everything. I don't know. It was just the whole end was worked for me.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. And I also liked the introduction of Trisha, who was Rue's friend, and then also Trisha's little sister and Eli's little sister, who kind of come into play in Problematic Summer Romance.
Nyota and Maya.
Why can't I remember these names?
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't it Nyota or Nyo?
Yeah, I think it's Nyota. Is
okay.
Trisha's
Yeah, and then
sister.
definitely it's Maya. Maya is Eli's little sister. Yeah. And another thing is this is so I think this is just the wit in this book. The wit in all of them, I think, are pretty well. But I loved just the humor in this one. Not like laugh out loud funny, but just the juxtaposition of the kink and the smut with like the banter is just so good. Like the last almost pretty much last line of dialogue, for someone who lets me tie her up and slide plugs up her holes on a weekly basis, you're a traditionalist? It just cracks me up every single time. Oh my god. So good.
Yeah, I feel like that's a pretty good line to highlight what this book is going to do, you know, to get the expectations about what that book's going to be like.
Yeah.
So, and I guess the other thing I was going to mention with this one is that I also agree that the smut never felt like it was just for the sake of it. Like it did feel like it was for those character progressions and growth. So I think that she did that well.
Yes.
Ratings?
If I could give this 6 stars, I would, on a scale of 1 to 5. I love this.
I am pretty sure that I gave this one 4 stars.
That's okay.
It was good. Just wasn't my like favorite of them, but.
And then the next one where we even more greatly differ on.
Yes. So,
you want to take this one since this is your favorite?
Sure. So, love theoretically, we have Elsie. Sorry. I think one of the teachers calling her Elise is like a relevant pull-up point in this book too. So we have Elsie and Jack in love theoretically. So Elsie, as I mentioned previously, is a bit of a people pleaser. She's a chronic people pleaser. She has even like built a side job around her people pleasing in the fact that she is like a
fake
rent-a-girlfriend.
Yeah.
So she like people can use her to like take on dates or take to family events, and she will like pretend to be their girlfriend. And it's not like there's no sex involved. It's just like, I will pretend to be your girlfriend to your family to get them off your back. And she has this client that she is like a repeat client. She doesn't usually do repeat clients, but this guy she's become friends with. And he has an older brother named Jack, and she does not think that Jack likes her. There's a bit of like hostility at family events. And then she is like interviewing for this position that would be really good because her current work position kind of sucks. And Jack is one of the like people in power or like interviewees for this position. And they get to spend more time together, and her fake girlfriend storyline starts to unravel a little bit because Jack thinks that she actually is the girlfriend of his younger brother. He secretly has a crush on her, which he can't reveal because he thinks it's his brother's girlfriend. But he's also questioning why she's such a crabby girlfriend and she doesn't know things about his younger brother. So he's like not really sure what to think. She's trying to keep up the appearances for the sake of the younger brother to try and protect him because he has some sexuality things that he hasn't revealed to his family yet himself. And as they start to get to know each other and the fake girlfriend storyline starts to unravel, they realize that they have an attraction between them. And I think that kind of gives the summary of it. I really identified with the people pleasing parts because that's me. And also just like the need to adapt yourself to different people in different situations and becoming so good at that you kind of lose a little bit of who you are. I related to that as well. And then her trying to rediscover who she was. And like, I think maybe she could have like done with being friends with Rue and having Rue tell her, like, teach her how to just say what she wants in situations. Maybe that would have been good for her. I liked the storyline of her discovering or like undiscovering how to be a people pleaser and trying to be true to herself and stand up for herself.
Yeah. To be positive about this book, I did truly like Elsie as a character. I liked how she didn't really know herself because like you said, she was so used to becoming a figure that everybody else wanted and needed in that moment as part of her job that she kind of forgot who she was. And when Jack, like, I think there's a line in here that I just saw that I had underlined, like, Jack sees her for who she really is and kind of he doesn't see the facade that she puts up for anyone else, and she appreciates that, and I appreciate that about their relationship. And I also appreciate how just the depiction of like health and health insurance and medical needs are part of this, because Elsie has, I don't recall if it's specifically mentioned, but it's essentially diabetes, like it's insulin related. She has a port and she has to has to manage that. And I did like that representation there. Everything else I just didn't. It felt a little half baked for me. I feel like Ali Hazelwood was trying to juggle a lot of things that in isolation would have done really, really well. But combined all together, I feel like there wasn't enough time. Even though this is like one of the thicker books, I feel like I feel like there just wasn't enough time devoted to all of those things all together to really work for me. But
yeah, that makes sense. And there was a storyline with her professor or her I can't remember what she called it. Do you remember like what his?
Oh, the gosh.
Well, like
yeah, like her mentor or whatever.
Yeah, it was some kind of term for that, where he was like, what?
Oh god, I blacked that out. Oh my god. Okay, I don't want to rant. It's fine.
Well, I was going to say there was this situation with him where he was quite like controlling and was trying to keep her in this shitty like job because it worked better for him. And she was having like every time that she was getting something presented to her, she was like, "Oh, I've got to go check with him and like got to make sure that he'll be okay with it." And like it comes across very frustrating, but it's also quite realistic. Like I've definitely been in situations where I'm like people pleasing and there's like a boss who's more controlling or like wanting me to be in a specific position and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll just go along with it, whatever you want. So I think it was relatable.
I definitely get that. The thing that I think the crux of my frustration is that I don't get how Jack can get something published in an academic paper at 17. I don't care how bad the editorial system is, that he could get something in that dismantles an entire field. I just didn't get at 17, for goodness sake.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think I kind of like overlooked that because I liked so much of the other parts, but
yeah. And then the related to that, the other half is, and I'm pretty sure she mentions it, how Elsie was 12 when that article came out, and she talks about how it dismantled my mentor's career, and I'm like, but you were 12, you didn't even know your mentor then. Like, what's happening? And which I guess you could not excuse that, but you could explain that by saying the mentor was so controlling that he kind of brainwashed her to be so like vehemently mad about this article.
yeah, like she kind of inherited the grudge from him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess you could excuse it in that way, but
yeah,
it was just so frustrating for me. And I'm like, come on.
Definitely the one where our like opinions started to diverge the most so far.
Yeah. But you loved it, so that's all that matters.
I did, yes. So I gave this one 5 stars.
I did not give it 5 stars. I gave it 2.5, which actually, comparatively to the other books, it's actually not that bad. So
yeah, it's just like middle of the road.
Literally middle of the road. So
yeah, it's fine. Not everything works for everyone.
But we bounced back. You a little bit. Well, yours went down a little bit. I bounced back.
Yes.
With paranormal romance? Question mark?
Yeah.
And yeah, this is Vampires and Werewolves. As you can see by the cover, Bride, I think it was written last year, but the second book is coming out this year, and I'm so excited, called Mate. Yeah, and it's about Misery and, oh my god, what's his name? Oh no! Lo, there you go. Misery is a vampire, Lo is an alpha werewolf, and it's like a marriage of convenience. And there's also a mystery involved where Misery is trying to find her roommate / friend, And I was actually really, really compelled by the mystery aspect of it. And I'm still gathering data. If you have seen and loved Underworld, pretty sure you're gonna love this book because I freaking love Underworld and I freaking love this book. So, still gathering data for this this theory. Please comment below if you have read Bride and also love Underworld. I will add data to my study. So, but what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this was the one where I kind of started to I struggled with more. I don't have anything that makes me want to rant about it. It was nothing bad. It's just I just struggled to connect to it. I think I just wasn't vibing with the vampire werewolf romance. I don't know. The thing that maybe I came back to was that I did not. I haven't seen Underworld. I grew up in the Twilight era, and it was human vampire or human and werewolf, and just little werewolf and vampire romance just wasn't a thing. And I just something about it. I just struggled. I couldn't get into it for that reason. It wasn't the mystery part was kind of interesting. The romance wasn't bad. I just couldn't connect as well. I'm gonna try Mate because I'm excited to see. I think the character that Mate's about will be interesting. It's her roommate, and I can't remember her name. That seems to be the trend.
Oh God. It's gonna be at the last bit here. Come on, let's do this.
I swear we actually read these books.
It's true.
It doesn't seem like it. But when you read 11 romance books in the space of a month, all the names start to blend together.
And to be fair, I'm pretty sure I know I read other books in between these books. I'm pretty sure you did as well. So that's 11 books plus whatever else we read in that span of time. Serena is the friend's name.
Right. Yes.
So, which further adds to my theory of Underworld because the vampire's name is Selena. Okay? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm just not a paranormal romance girly. I've never really found one that I've gotten into, aside from Twilight when I was a teenager. But yeah, even Sarah J. Maas has that paranormal romance Crescent City series, and that's the only one of hers that I haven't gotten into.
I didn't know that was paranormal.
Yeah, werewolves, I believe, are in there. I read the first book, but it was a long time ago. So maybe that's what we should buddy read next.
I tried ACOTAR and I stalled out at 100 pages. And
yeah.
Apparently a divisive thing from readers that I have seen. What are your thoughts on the nodding?
Yeah, so I read this and I was on Reddit what exactly is a knot? What does this mean? How does this work? And that's something that I can never get back now. Now I know. I thought it was kind of weird. It wasn't doing it for me. Let's just say that.
It didn't do it for me, but it didn't horrify me either. I knew that was coming from people talking about it, but I think I thought it was going to be much worse than what it actually was. I genuinely thought it was going to be him in werewolf form, and I'm like, okay, I can't deal with that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, he's not in werewolf form, so thank God. So I was very pleasantly surprised that it was not that. So I'm like, okay, I can like this book then. So we're good.
Pleasantly surprised by the nodding.
Yes. Yep. So, but the next one, spoiler alert, it's going to be not cross species.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
I gave this one 2.5.
And I gave it 5. Not 5 with an asterisk that's, oh God, if I could give it 6 stars, I would. but it's definitely a 5. So
yeah, I'm glad it worked so well for you.
yeah. All right.
Next, we had Loath to Love You, which is a short story collection. So 3 short stories. They were each like around just over 100 pages each, I think it worked out to be. We have Under One Roof, Stuck With You, and Below Zero. So Under One Roof was like a roommate situation, like forced proximity, where they kind of like were forced into this living situation because they both had inherited half of this house and both were like, you know, financially it made more sense to live together. And then Stuck With You was a kind of work rivalry situation.
Also forced proximity because they're stuck in an elevator.
Yes, they got stuck in an elevator, which I like that trope. I think getting stuck in places is a good way to make people deal with their misunderstandings.
Yes.
And then we had Below Zero, which is a so she went to this expedition to the Antarctic or Arctic. I don't think that's the same.
Close enough, right?
And she gets like there's this guy that she had this like previous fling with, and she gets injured, stuck somewhere, and he kind of comes in and saves her. And then I guess it's all like maybe also forced proximity in a way, because then they do spend a bit of time on a boat together.
Yeah.
So I thought these were pretty enjoyable. They're shorter, so you don't really get as into it as the full-length romance books because you just don't get as much time with the characters. But I didn't hate any of them. I thought they were all pretty fun to read. I think we both liked Below Zero the most.
Yes.
I did like the elevator scene in Stuck With You, although like I would probably be pretty terrified if I got stuck in an elevator.
I'm terrified of elevators when they're moving, so being stuck in an elevator is a nightmare to me. So
yeah, that's like one of those situations where it's like I want to read about it, but I don't want it to happen to me. Yeah, and I also thought the like roommate situation was good. It did give them like a little bit more page time or like a little bit more time to develop their relationship because it was just so many interactions in the same house together as maybe some of the other ones.
Yeah, my frustration with novellas, well, shorter fiction in general, when it comes to especially genre fiction, telling a story in a certain amount of pages, whether it's a novel length, short story, novella length, like it takes skill and craft to be able to do it in those set amount of pages. For me, for 2 of these 3, they just felt like they were romance novels condensed down into a novella, and it just didn't work for me. Again, they weren't bad, but like they were like, I would rather have more page time. I'd rather this be a full-length novel. Below Zero was the one that, like you said, like was my favorite of the 3, and I think it worked well. The thing that I appreciate, well, one of the things that I appreciate that Ali Hazelwood was doing with these novellas is she used dual timelines to reflect on the passage of time and move the plot forward. Like in Under One Roof, like the span of time it would cover for their relationship is covered in the 100 pages, but the scenes are kind of clipped. You just see little vignettes basically over the same amount of time that you probably would have covered in a normal romance novel in the novella. And I think, again, I'm like, just give me the full length novel of this. Come on. But Below Zero,
I would rather one full length novel than like 3 novellas. Yeah, personally.
Which she proves me wrong later, by the way. Just saying. At least.
And I think I mentioned too, like with Under One Roof, it kind of you go through the novella and then the last chapter I think is like them getting together, like admitting their feelings for each other, and I'm like, well, what now? Like it just felt really kind of sudden to have it wrapped up just because of the short amount of time that we're working with.
Yeah.
So that was the like downside to the novella format.
I mean, to be fair, at least I can only speak for myself. I kind of knew what I was going into. I was expecting. I'm like, okay, these are novellas.
Mm-hmm.
These are not. You're not going to get the same thing as a full blown romance novel. Set the bar low. So
Yeah. So, but still enjoyable. Like I had a good time reading them. So that's the main thing.
yeah,
And
like
I
the writing was not bad at all. Like the writing has been consistently good.
Yeah.
Throughout this until we get to obviously the first one, but it's fine. The next one we read.
Oh wait.
Oh wait, sorry. Oh, rating. Yes, sorry.
So I gave it 4, I believe, as a like collective.
Yeah, I gave it 3.5 as a collective. I don't remember what did I give for them individually. I would say like below 0 would be like a 4, and then the other 2 would be like 2.5. Like,
yeah.
Don't check the math, people. Okay, don't check my math. Just say 3.5. Okay.
Yeah, it's a feeling, not a calculation.
Yes. All right, but the next one we read is Deep End,
which is very pretty.
Yes.
And also the like these parts, yeah, very nice. My favorite like edition of them.
Yes, it's very. There was a lot of money put into the production of this book because I think yours has it. Like, I didn't notice this until like there's like water droplets on here.
It's very cool.
So, which is thematically appropriate. So this is a college romance, sports romance, which I never would have put on my bingo card that I would love. But here we are. And this is about a couple of 21-year-olds. One's a competitive diver, one's a competitive long distance swimmer, question mark, some sort of swimmer. It's fine. And they both are into BDSM question mark, but it's really just about power play stuff. This is the most kinky of them all, in my opinion. And yeah, and the main character whose name is Scarlett, there you go. Scarlett and Lucas. And Scarlett's best friend used to date Lucas. They break up, and Scarlett's best friend says, "Hey, you guys are into the same thing. Why don't you just hook up?" So they do that, and it becomes more than just hooking up and exploring power play.
Yeah, which I think is arguably like the worst relationship setup. Like, oh, my ex thought that we should get together. I liked it, but I had a couple of issues with this one. Like, I was frustrated throughout the whole thing with the like ex situation because like Scarlett is friends with Lucas's ex, and then Lucas is still friends with his ex, and it feels just like everyone's really chummy with the ex, and she like knows about them getting into these kinks together, and then like the drama becomes about the ex. And it's just I'm just like this like and Lucas and this ex like only what was her name?
Oh gosh. Penn.
Yes, that's right. Lucas and Penn only like just broke up. Oh, and then they like hadn't told anyone about their breakup. So it just felt
so Scarlett and Lucas are doing this all in secret, by the way.
Yes. So it just felt very like close to the ex the whole time.
Yeah.
I like at one point I thought that there wasn't maybe wasn't going to be any drama at the end with the ex, and I was going to be like, okay, like maybe that's a little bit like refreshing to have like the ex be friends with them. But we did have the ex drama occur, and they did like resolve it. But anyway, so that part I found like a little bit frustrating. But as you said, they were in college, so I have to like give them that. And I also kind of got a little bit frustrated by the fact that like the book is like I'm pretty sure at the start of the book we have this like disclaimer about the a disclaimer about the like kink and the BDSM content, and they exchange a whole BDSM list. But I felt like she only kind of delved into the power play aspect, which is a kink, and it's like it was interesting and it was hot. I just felt like she kind of alluded to that she might write about more
on the
than that.
list. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she didn't kind of like go into more than that. But the things that I did like about it was the sports, which again I was surprised about. She was a diver and he was a swimmer, and like I was really into the like diving storyline, and she was like overcoming this mental block because of an accident that she had. The diving terrifies me. Like I would never ever do that. Like water kind of terrifies me, but the like
heights. Deep water and heights. I'm just much like elevators, being stuck in elevators. I just want to read about it. I don't want to experience it.
Yes. Yeah. But I really liked like reading about the psychology of her kind of overcoming that block. And also I just find like competitive sports kind of interesting to read about, and like the kind of like lengths that the athletes have to go to be able to compete and make their sport so like everything to them.
As you said, these are college age. They're 21. Okay.
Yeah.
I am almost 40 years old, people. Okay. Imagine how awkward I feel being compelled and reading about the sexual exploits of a couple of 20-year-olds. It makes me feel borderline disgusting. Okay. But it worked. So I don't know, all the drama with the best friend with Penn, I kind of chalked it up to they're in college. Like they're essentially kids. And when I was in college, I saw people switching partners left and right. So I was like, that sounds about right. So
yeah, I also thought it was kind of funny that like Penn like couldn't understand the fact that these two people were into like kinky stuff, and she was just like, like 50 Shades of Grey, like how could you be into that? But then it's like revealed throughout the book that she was the one initiating threesomes when they were together, and it's like, Penn, that's kind of some kinky stuff. Like,
right?
What are you doing? Why are you judging other people?
Yeah, don't kink shame. That's the moral of the story. Don't kink shame.
Yeah. So, I would like to see, like, I would like her to explore more like this. I would definitely be interested in reading more. It did have like STEM aspects too, because they were like studying science in their college degrees. So it was like sports romance, but it still had the STEM theme.
STEM stuff. And then also, which I don't think we mentioned it, but there are references basically to either Stanford and or the characters that started it all, Olive and Adam, throughout all of these books so far. Like there are references to them, which I thought was a little Easter eggy goodness. So but you already mentioned it, that they kind of the things that Scarlett goes through to kind of overcome her diving fears after an accident, basically the yips but for diving, which I think is actually mentioned in the book. I really appreciated the depiction and exploration of therapy through this book, and especially like younger people. Like I think it's mentioned that she could have gone to a sports therapist or whatever, but she went outside of her therapist was like outside of the sports field or whatever. And I'm like, that's actually really kind of self-aware and mature for anyone to do, to kind of pursue getting mental health treatments and stuff like that and therapy. But especially for someone who's in college, like that's obviously something that is really important to her and really something that she wants to work on. And the other aspect is her not just working on her basically yips situation, but her relationships or the internalization of the mental and emotional abuse that she received from just being controlled and being, told what to do and yelled at and told that she's not good enough. I really appreciated that aspect of Scarlett's character.
Yes, and I also think that that it was a good exploration of the fact that it can be kind of healing for people who have been in a controlling situation where they've been controlled or abused. To it's not necessarily them replaying the abuse when they replay that kind of control in a kinky situation, but it's them actually having the power to choose that they're giving control to somebody. It's I think people often think that the person who has control has all the power, when in reality it's the person who's giving up control that has a lot of the power in those situations.
Yeah. And I thought it was related to that. I thought it was so sweet when Lucas tells Scarlett, he's like, you've had control from the very beginning. No, that's oddly so hot and so sweet. So
yeah. So I thought that was done well. Yeah.
Rating?
I gave it 3 just because of those aspects that I did find kind of frustrating. I think probably the pen situation was what brought it down the most for me. If we just didn't have the pen drama, I maybe would have given it a higher rating. But yeah,
I gave it 5 stars. So there you go.
I sound like a hater right now.
That's okay. We get back on track. We get back. At least we start aligning on things.
Yes.
From here on out. So.
Yes.
The next one that we read was Love Hypothesis.
Yes.
The first one. The one that started off as a fan fiction of Raylo. And if you don't know what Raylo is, let me explain it to you. It's from the terrible, terrible, terrible sequel trilogy of Star Wars of Rey, who should not be named. She has no last name. She's not a Skywalker. Spoiler alert, she's not a Skywalker. I'm going to get off that soapbox before I even start. And so it's Rey and Ben Solo, a.k.a. Kylo Ren. So...
I've never seen Star Wars, so I did not know.
Oh, well, the spoiler alert. I'm so sorry. Sorry.
It's fine. I don't really plan on watching it, but I do not know the source material.
Okay, well, we are coming at it from different angles. So this started off as a fan fiction, literally on fanfiction.net, or maybe a similar type website as Kylo Ren, Rey fan fiction. It got picked up by a traditional publisher, obviously, reworked into Adam and Olive, and it is an academic, fake dating, enemies to lovers romance, but it's also, I don't know, I was icked out by the difference in power dynamics, where he's a professor and she's a grad student, and it was just, and the writing is objectively bad in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is her first book. She's not going to start off amazing, probably. So it was to be expected. And I'm not knocking on fan fiction. I love some fan fiction. I've been deep in fan fiction before. But this was just kind of flimsy. A lot of the things were flimsy. The initial setup was flimsy. It was just very strange that Olive would just kiss Adam when she doesn't know him, just to like make her friend think that she had a boyfriend so that her friend could date her ex, instead of just like having a conversation with her friend and being like, hey, I wasn't really into this guy. He's all yours, basically.
Yeah.
So
Or sitting on his lap when her friend just says, sit on his lap during a lecture.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Like they're in an academic setting, like where he works, where she's studying. It was just kind of weird. So that was kind of flimsy. The villain was very flimsy. Like it was one of those situations where he was just like nice and then like gets her by herself, and then it's just like, whoa, this is a completely different person. This is his like villain side, and like, you know, villain people aren't just like that in real life. Like you don't just suddenly switch and you're just like a terrible person. Like there's layers to people, and there was no layers to this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the whole thing just felt kind of flimsy. The writing wasn't very great. It wasn't very good.
Yeah, I pretty much have. I'm trying to find something good to say about it.
I mean, we read it pretty quickly, so that's a positive.
There you go. Wait, yeah. I am glad that this is not the first one I started with, because if we had started with this one, I don't think we would have. I don't think we'd be having this conversation right now. So
yeah, that's would be my concern, is that if we started with this one, we maybe would not have continued. And so I'm glad that we read it like after we had read some really good ones.
Yes, and to be clear, just to confirm, or not even confirm, just to be clear, when I say this started off as fan fiction, I'm not saying that's because it's bad. It's because it's bad. It's because it started off as fan fiction. Because I've read, to your point, Taylor, I've read really good fan fiction. Had I not known that this started off as fan fiction, I would have said the same exact thing, that this reads like bad fan fiction. So, yeah, it's I don't know, just that these characters are supposed to be graduate and, you know, professorial level. They're adults. They're full adults. And somehow the characters in Deep End, who are literally still in college, are more mature and talk more clearly and openly, and apparently are able to survive on their own more than these characters. Like, there was actually a number of times that Olive does something, and I'm like, how do you survive? Like, how are you in the situation you're in? Like, how do you get to the level you're at? Like, you can't even do simple things. Like,
oh, and the I forgot about this, the like recording. So she accidentally records the guy like threatening her, and the climax, the villain scene. She accidentally records it because she was recording her like a lecture or presentation before this, and she left her recording on. And then she mentions the fact that she left her recording on, but she doesn't connect the fact that she recorded this scene. And then she mentions it again, and like it's not until she actually like goes to play the recording to send it to somebody that she's like, oh, I recorded this thing that like is evidence. And it's just like, what? How are you so incompetent?
yeah.
So I think it was like one of those things where she was like telling us a lot instead of showing us.
I'm gonna nitpick. The thing that enraged me the most, other than actually even more so than the whole recording, she uses freaking contacts for months at a time. I'm like, I'm sorry. You're supposed to be in the medical field, and you're surprised that you could potentially get like bacteria from using contacts too long, and you're doing that to save money. Just get glasses. Just get glasses. God, that was so enraging. Oh God.
Yeah.
Anyways, waiting.
We gave it 1 star.
Yeah, we did. So at least we agreed on that. So
yes, but it gets better from here. Well, it's not 1 star.
Yeah, it's not 1 star. Check and mate.
Check and mate.
the young adult one. You want to take this one?
Yes. Okay. So this is about Mallory and Nolan, and they are into chess, as you might be able to tell. So Nolan is like is like the world champion basically in chess at the moment, and I think he's like 22, 21 or something around that age. And Mallory was like really into chess when she was younger, like up until the time that she was 14. And then some stuff happened with her dad, where her dad was also into chess and he was like taking her to the tournaments and stuff. And I think this is revealed a bit later on in the book, but like she found out that her dad was having an affair with some woman who was also involved in chess tournaments. And she told her mom about it, and that resulted in her parents divorcing. And so she has a lot of like trauma around chess, and she hasn't played it for a long time until she's convinced to go to this charity tournament one day, and she plays against Nolan and she beats him. And then she gets offered a job for a year and is like learning how to play chess again, studying it and going to some tournaments. And there's like some different characters involved, like this other guy who is, I think he's second in the world, who is kind of like the villain of the story, I guess. And it's also about like Mallory and Nolan falling in love over their like shared hobby, career, I don't know, of chess. It was fine. Like there was some cute parts of it. Like I think like it was just like average for me. I'm not a huge chess person. I'm not a huge sports person or diving person either, but I found those parts way more interesting and deep end than I did about the chess. I don't know what it is about chess that I just like wasn't that into it, that I wasn't really like caring that much about the chess parts. And I found the like family aspect with Mallory a little annoying, like that she wouldn't just like talk to her sisters and find out what was going on. She just kind of was assuming a lot.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I like this is one where I tried to set set the bar lower because it's young adult. Not to say that young adult by definition is going to be bad, but I'm like, it's obviously catered to a different market. That is not me. I am no longer, again, I'm almost 40 years old. I'm not a young adult anymore. And I'm going through a midlife crisis. It's fine, guys. But even when I set the bar low, I knew it was going to be pretty melodramatic, or at least dramatic, because that's generally the way it is. I remember reading Hunger Games and stuff like that. It's dramatic. And it's just even knowing it was going to be melodramatic, it just got too melodramatic for me. I just, the idea of Mallory being the sole breadwinner of her family was just not believable. Like, I know there's a whole aspect of her mom she's supposed to have like a, oh God, what was it?
Like arthritis?
Yeah, rheumatoid arthritis. Yeah. Totally get it. I totally get it. However, that doesn't mean that her mom is an invalid and can't be a parent. Like, it just, and all this I don't know, this perceived pressure on herself, on Mallory.
Yeah, when she was like creating a lot of it herself.
Yeah, providing for her family. I have to take care of them. I have to pay bills. And I'm like, you are 18, 19 years old. Again, comparing books here, it's 2 to 3 years difference. Like, what my brain was not computing. And I didn't get it. And then on the flip side with Nolan's character, he's supposed to be like this, what do you call it? He's got like inheritance from his grandfather, which I get it. People get inheritance. But he has like multiple houses and he somehow survives in all of these But again, he's like 19, 20 years old. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah. And even like her beating him at the initial tournament, I thought was kind of unrealistic. Like when she hasn't played for so long. I mean, I'm not a chess player. I don't, I don't know. But I just thought, like, really, is that really possible? He's a world champion, like studying this every day, playing every day, and you haven't played for 4 years, and you're gonna beat him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And then just their dynamic between them. There's, like you said, there's a lot of telling rather than showing, and I just didn't. It wasn't believable for me. So
Yeah. Like it definitely was better than the Love Hypothesis in terms of like her writing was better.
Oh yeah.
And if someone was like a YA reader, I think it would work better for them. And like I was a YA reader at one point, but I don't read a lot of YA anymore. So, and I think maybe after reading her adult novels, it just kind of was not as good in comparison because we had just read them so recently.
Yeah.
So I think I gave it 3 stars. Like it wasn't awful. It was just like fine.
Yeah. I gave it 2. So
okay.
It's less than luck theoretically. So there you go.
Yes. But then we have Problematic Summer Romance.
Also another shiny one.
Possibly my favorite or my second favorite. To be determined.
Depending upon the day. Flip the coin, right?
Yeah.
So this is a well, would you call it a sequel? Like an actual sequel? Because there are overlapping characters.
Just like in the same
world.
Yeah,
I mean they're all in the same world, but yeah, so this does, I think you do need to read Not in Love before you read this, because this follows Eli's younger sister, and she is the female lead, Maya, and they are going to a wedding that I'm not going to say. Well, I guess it's gonna spoil it. Whatever, it's fine. Anyways, they're going to a wedding in Italy, and Maya is she's 21, 22, 23, 23. There you go.
23, I think.
And
oh yeah, no, it was definitely 23 because I know there's that like Blink 182 reference. Like nobody likes you when you're 23. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then so they're going to a wedding. Connor, who's also in Not in Love, is also going to be there, and he's 38. So it's an age gap romance, and it worked for me. This is another like borderline. It's not. I wouldn't say that it's like hot in the same vein as like Not in Love or Deepened, but it is very steamy, and just the age gapness of it all works because they constantly reference the problematic aspect of their relationship and of the age gap. And I love how Maya is the emotionally mature one. Not to say that Connor's not emotionally mature, but he's so hung up on like, I'm too old for you. You need to live your life as a 23-year-old. I'm too old for you. Also, you're my friend's younger sister. What will people say? And he's the totally insecure one. Where Maya's like, screw it, we both like each other. What the heck? And I love that aspect. And it's great. And that's it.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I loved this one too. It was nice that for the end of the full length novels, we agreed on like a very positive rating. And yeah, this one was just so fun. Like I really loved Maya too. Maya? I don't know. Do you say
I pronounce it Maya? I don't know.
Maya? we'll go with that. And I love an age gap romance. Like I'm a sucker for a good age gap romance. I love an older man. What can I say? And yeah, this was just done so well. I liked that, like you said, that she was like the emotionally mature one, where she was like, it's fine. Like we like each other. We're adults. And it was like his reservations weren't annoying. Like I think it helped to build the tension and the like angst between them. And I think some of the like hotness of this wasn't even the sex scenes. It was the like longing and the like tension and the build up. I like that because sometimes like you can have things like kind of they hook up too quickly and then there's no like build up for me. And I liked there was a lot of build up in this.
Yeah.
And I liked sorry.
No, I was just gonna say Taylor and I discovered that we have daddy issues, and we like it when men are called daddy.
Apparently, yeah. Apparently that's our thing. Because that also relates back to Lila's age. Yeah. I don't know what it is about an age gap. Call it daddy issues. I don't know. Something works.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. I can't really say much because obviously this is the only age gap romance that I've read, but I imagine that much like with any kind of trope or thing that you're exploring, it can be done poorly. Mm-hmm. And I just think it was done really, really well here, with compelling characters, believable characters, and individually Maya and Connor are complex, and obviously you see them both in Not in Love, so you already have kind of an inkling of who they are. So adding on top of that and building their character even more, or their characters even more individually and then also together, is just that's the thing that I love about romance when done well, is that you have compelling characters individually as leads and you care about them as individuals, and then together they just work. Yeah. I've read some romances in the past before I have entered my romance era, where I've either cared about one of the characters individually, one of the leads, or not cared about the other lead, and I didn't see them working well together. And it takes a skill and a craft to be able to make that all work together. And I think Ali Hazelwood did that really, really well here. Even like the secondary characters, which I don't think we really talked about, but all the secondary characters in all these books, other than the ones that we rated not that well, were really compelling. Like Nyota. Yeah. I think we're hoping for a Nyota novel next. Mm-hmm. It'd be great.
Yeah, we got introduced to Nyota in Not in Love, and then she is more prominent in this one because she's quite good friends with Maya. And I would really like to see her book next because she is fierce, and I think that it would be really fun. I think that she kind of gives off like some Teddy vibes from Lila Sage, so I would be excited for that. And the other part that I really liked about this one was kind of the flip of what's usually done in like an age gap romance, where Maya's brother, like Eli, comes and talks to her, and he knows what's going on between her and Hug. Like he's figured it out. And usually what would happen is he would be like, like the adult figure, the brother, the whatever, would be like, no, he's too old for you. Like, what's going on? Like, he's not allowed to touch you. But this was like flipped, and he ended up saying like, just don't hurt him, okay? Which was great because he was like recognizing that they're adults. Like, she knows what she's doing. He's respecting her choice, and I liked that a lot.
Yes. And this cracks me up every single time. In general, Ali Hazelwood explores, obviously, consent in between all of her leads. And adding, I don't know. I'm just going to go into the thing. Like, Connor has like a thing where he's like, oh, I want to put a baby in you. And you're like, it's like, wait, what? And just the whole scene where Maya's like, you can be a fan of reproductive rights and think that coming inside me is hot. Like, he's like, what? Christ. There's nothing wrong to be embarrassed, or there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Lots of people have a breeding kink. And I'm like, I died laughing. It still cracks me up. Just thinking, I love that scene. That's hysterical. But what I'm trying to say is, I think that scene she addresses the problematic aspects in this book and also like in other books. Like, she's aware of the tropes and like what people might think or say about the tropes, and she addresses it within the text without being like preachy. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And in this case, she makes it hysterical. So
yeah, I liked that as well. So no surprise, we gave it 5 stars.
5 stars, definitely 5 stars. Yeah, and then I almost said that was it, but then I looked at my spreadsheet because again, I already forgot.
Yes.
We read the last 2 things that we had to read. So one of them was a novella, short story. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're both novellas.
Cruel Winter with You, ebook exclusive.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah,
I feel like I've said that a lot. But it was, I think, yeah, maybe like because he was younger than her.
Yeah.
So like, I just went from this like age gap where he is older, to the like novella where he's younger and he was like obsessed with her growing up. And it just didn't work for me. Like, I guess I just don't like younger, needy guys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we're back to the would rather have seen this as a novel so that you can like expand upon it more. Cruel Winter with You, I don't even remember the main characters' names, but there's a snowstorm happening and the female lead is sent over to her childhood best friend's house to get a pan so that her dad can make brownies, cake, something.
Yeah.
And the male lead is the only person of the family that's there because he's watching the house and or a pet. I don't even remember if there's a pet involved. And then they have discussions about their past, and yeah, he was just a little obsessed with our female lead. I'm like, really? All right. Cool.
Yeah, and just like from such a young age too. Like, I think it was first initially revealed when he was 16 and she was 18, and then they don't see each other all the time as adults, but he just continues to be obsessed with her
to the point that he has no other relationships, so he's a virgin. Which, by the way, I don't know why, but that freaked me out. Like, I'm like, I don't know this. Obviously, I'm not trying to shame anyone, but I don't know why. It just freaked me out. Her being the older one and him just being the combination of her being the older one and him being obsessed with her to the point that I think that's why it made it creepy for me, that he was so obsessed with her that he wouldn't like have any sort of relationship with. Yeah. And I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Yeah. Clearly we just like our guys older.
True.
Yeah.
Call him daddy.
All it is. But I was just checking to see what I rated it. I gave it 3 stars, but now that I'm talking about it, maybe it's more like a 2.
Same. I also gave it 3 stars, but I think it's definitely more of a 2.
Yeah, I think I'm going to change that after this.
Yeah. All right, I'm doing that now. Actually, no, I'm not going to do it now. It's fine. But at least we're aligned. We're still aligned. It's good. We're great.
Yes.
The last one, I don't remember what you rated this one, but 2 Can Play, which is an audio book exclusive novella, set in the video game industry. So it's not quite. I guess it video game stuff is considered STEM. But yeah, so it's about 2 video game developers for rival companies, and their companies are contracted to create or develop a video game based on a series of books a la The Witcher, but not obviously The Witcher. And they are forced to go onto a retreat to hash out their differences and decide on like, hey, this is basically a team building retreat for our two teams, 2 companies so that we can move forward and develop this game. And I really, really, really liked it. I am not a audiobook only listener for the most part. So the fact that I had to listen to this solely on audio, I was a little nervous about, but I loved it. It worked so well for me on audio. The audiobook narrator, who I cannot remember for the life of me, did really so well. I loved the narration, and just the length worked for me. I think this is my favorite of all of the shorter fiction by far, which is, to be fair, not a high bar, but it really worked well for the page count, or in this case, hour count. So
yeah, and it was kind of fun because I didn't do any audio for any of these, so it was kind of fun to have an audiobook to finish it off for a different format. And yeah, I really liked it too. It was like a fun different setup with the like video game element. And I guess like she does do a lot of workplace rivalry, because we have had that in a few different books, but it just works. Like, it's one of those tropes that kind of like always works well, because you have some rivalry. You like, a lot of the times the guy has a hidden crush on the girl. There was some like misunderstanding in this one, but I think it was resolved in a way that made sense. It wasn't frustrating, and it was pretty cute. And yeah, just like listening to it was lots of fun. I was listening to it while I went for walks and just doing some chores, and it was just a good time.
Everything that Taylor said, I second. So
yeah.
So.
And I think I gave it 4 stars. Did you also give it 4 stars?
I did give it 4 stars. So it was a good way to end our Ali Hazelwood readathon, unintentional readathon. So more like binge, I guess.
Yeah, it was definitely a binge.
Yes. So overall, successful. Thank you for reading them all with me, even though I dusted you on some of them, but it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, thank you for reading them with me. Yeah, it was very successful. I think like we only had one book that we probably hated. That was 1 star, and like the rest were, I think the next lowest was 2.5 for each of us, and then like there was a few 3 stars, but we did have some 4s and 5s and some like new all-time favorites. So overall, I think that's a success.
Yeah, and we are looking forward to everything else that Ali Hazelwood writes. So
and we have some more tropes to look for, like age gap, daddy, sign me up.
Who's that author? There's literally a book coming out called Daddy Issues. Yeah, I saw it and I sent it to Taylor and I was like, buddy read? So
yeah, I think it comes out in November, so stay tuned.
There you go. The new Ali Hazelwood in October.
Yeah,
Daddy Issues in November.
Soul Searching in September.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Glorious end of the year.
Yeah, we might have to start putting out like individual reviews going forward.
Right?
So like Soul Searching, we'll do an individual review.
I did get
I mean, as in individual for the book, not individual to each of us.
Yeah. I did get some other folks on the Lila Sage train, so I could convince them to be like, let's just do it. As long as you guys like it, we can just do a gush fest. So
yeah.
If no one likes it, then we're gonna be like, oh, it's radio silent.
Yeah.
So
we'll gush. You guys sit there.
Cool. All right. I don't know how to end these things.
Well, if anyone's still watching after all of this, thanks for watching. And if you
Taylor's a better booktuber than I am, so this is confirmed. So
if you're interested in any of these books after listening to us talk about them forever, let us know your thoughts, and also let us know what we should read next.
What she said. So
and thanks for having me, Evie.
Yes, thank you. This is now Taylor's channel. Like, I'm just here to host. So in all seriousness, all joking aside, thank you again for reading these with me. I could not have asked for a better person to help me grow in my romance reading, and it is just the start, and we have much more to look forward to. So Simon, please, for the love of God, if you haven't already, put stuff in the comments. We need more recommendations because you worked so well with Love on the Brain. Okay, so let us know.